What is up, Edison duelists? This is Dionysus, aka YungPudz, coming at you guys with some more shameless hype beast GigaVise content. We are coming in at the 11th hour. In fact, halfway through the 11th hour to get this video to you guys before midnight. Anyways, what do we have here? Well, I just played the first game of Yu-Gi-Oh! I played today. Was very busy, had to take my daughter to the doctor's. Nothing wrong, just a little checkup. The kid is growing fantastically, hitting all the right metrics, hitting all of her milestones. Makes me very happy to see. So this is the one match that I played today, and I queued into none other than Oscar Zelaya from Legacy Retro Formats, one of the best Edison channels on YouTube. It was his videos that got me into the format. The YouTube algorithm and its infinite wisdom recommended them to me. And I started watching Edison and saying, you know, maybe Edison is what I need to be playing. So we're going to open up here. We Upstart Goblin, and looking at this hand, we're going to do the rare Gold Sark for Super Solar Nutrient. I'm so confident that SSN is going to be live. We have Dandy tokens from this Dandy. We have Foolish Burial for the second Dandy. And in a pinch, we have Copy Plant. But I'm really hoping that we get Foolish Burial for the other Dandy, SSN, and then we can Copy Plant, copy the Giga Plant level, and combo from there. And we have Trunade as well. So I'm feeling pretty confident about this. I am just going to set this other Dandelion just to, you know, kind of commit something to the board. Maybe if he knows that the SSN is coming and he gets these tokens up, he'll go out of his way to clear all of my tokens, even though I have the Foolish Burial that I'm actually trying to use. So this seems to me to be the optimal way to play this hand. He's going to come down with a Sirocco, and we will get the two tokens up and running. Seems fantastic. He's going to set two traps and pass it off to us. We pick up a Heavy Storm for turn. He's going to hit us with the Trap Dust Shoot. Now, looking at this hand, this is a pretty tricky thing to spot. I can tell you, because of what I'm planning, what I know I'm planning, the Copy Plant is the correct thing to put back. But staring down something like this, staring down the Titanial with the two tokens to tribute, you can't fault him for picking the Titanial to put back. You know, I have the Tribute Father ready. You know, dropping Titanial here would put him really behind. He would either have to just put up with the Titanial on the field, which is not great, or he'd have to use the Torrential early. Also not super great. So he does decide to put back the Titanial. That's going to give us the Copy Plant. We're just going to pass. You know, no need to Heavy Storm right now. He knows we have it, so he's probably not going to set anything else. We have the Trunade as a backup. He's going to Upstart Goblin, finding himself a Necro Gardener, and then he will be normal summoning the Vayu and swinging with that. So there go our tokens, and now we are going to get a SSN for turn, and we do have the Mark of the Rose as well. So pretty powerful hand here. I'll give you guys a freebie. We're going to Heavy Storm first. And now, what would you do? What line would you take to win the game? Little pop quiz, just you know, fun little puzzle. Not even really a puzzle. This is pretty standard intermediate GigaVise lines. Anyways, I think that's enough time. If you've wanted to pause the video, you would have done so already. Let me show you what line we took. We're going to Foolish Burial for Dandelion, summon two tokens, tribute one token for SSN, summon Lone Fire for Giga Plant, normal summon Copy Plant, copy Giga Plant, go for Power Tool Dragon. Power Tool Dragon is going to get the guaranteed Supervise, revealing 3, adding 1 to our hand. We equip the Supervise to Giga Plant, activate its effect, summon back Copy Plant, get the second Power Tool Dragon, activate its effect. 66% is going to round up to 100%, but if we miss, DDR is still really good. We'll equip the Supervise to Giga Plant, use its effect, bring back Lone Fire, go for the second Lone Fire, go for Titanial, Mark of the Rose, banish Lone Fire, steal the Sirocco, and that is GG. So let us see how we handle game 2. I have gone ahead and sided in my standard 7 in, 7 out kind of game plan, and now we're feeling good. You know, we got all of our traps. We put in Decrees, we put in MST, we put in Twister, we put in Lightning Vortex, we put in Book of Moon. With this hand, we are, you know, we have a ton of gas. All we need is, you know, something to out the back row. I'm assuming that this is Royal Oppression. Of course, we see here it's a bottomless, but Royal Oppression is the most devastating thing. So I just go ahead and pick up a Trunade, and then we're going to hit an armory and get supervise. So we have copy plant from super solar. You get us to lone fire. We have supervise, and in 2 turns we'll get giant trunade. So I'm feeling absolutely fantastic. Fantastic. We're going to draw an upstart. I'd rather keep his life points lower, and we don't necessarily need to use it right away. So I'm just going to pass once again. He's going to upstart his own. So we're gaining a lot of life points. I'm feeling like I have a nice big cushion. He's going to set the trap dust chute, and then now we're going to pick up a fertilizer for turn, and we will get giant trunade to our hand. He's going to hit us with trap dust chute, so that's going to delay our combo for a little bit. However, we did save that upstart goblin, so maybe we can draw something good. We don't. We pick up a lightning vortex, but now we're insulated against fossil dyna, vanity's fiend, that kind of thing too. I'm just going to set the miracle fertilizer here. This is the card that is the least relevant for starting combo because we have SSN. Drawing Foolish Burial does not. I mean, it could turn on fertilizer, but we'd much rather use it to turn on SSN. So we can afford to lose the fertilizer, but I don't just want to be tossing out cards for no reason. So here comes Armageddonite. He's going to send Necrogardna, clearly respecting our deck's powerful OTK potential. Makes sense to me. Then he's going to go ahead and set a Dust Tornado. We're going to pick up another Supervise. I'll set the Lightning Vortex. I'm feeling like, okay, he has the Armageddonite, so if he had a Fossil Dyna, he would have summoned it already. And now if he puts a Fossil Dyna on the field, I could use Mark of the Rose as my out, so we can afford to be losing Lightning Vortex. And in fact, we are going to lose it. He's going to hit us with the Dust Tornado, use its second effect. You don't always see that, to set a second Dust Tornado. And now he is going to pick up a Raikou for turn. Pretty good draw. We'll take another 1400 damage, finally dipping below 8,000. And would you look at that, folks? We draw the Foolish Burial. Seems pretty good. So we're going to fire the Giant Trunade, get everything back to our hand, and then we are going to go ahead and Foolish Burial. You know what? Let's make this another quiz. What line would you take? Keep in mind, there's a Necrogardna. Gores is a possibility. How would you play this? Let me show you what I chose to do. So we go Foolish Burial for Dandelion, send 2 tokens, and then we're going to SSN for Lone Fire Blossom. Lone Fire Blossom for the second Lone Fire, for Gigaplant, equip Supervise, bring back Lone Fire Blossom, go for Copy Plant. We're going to make a Power Tool Dragon first, just to get the one activation that we have out of it, revealing one of each of our equips. Those are the last 3 equips in deck. We pick up the other DDR, totally fine by me. Then we'll equip the Supervise that we already had in our hand to Gigaplant, bring back Lone Fire into Nettles, go for Mistworm, bounce just the Raikou. Don't want to give him another Armageddonite. Then we summon back Gigaplant off Supervise, normal summon it, and bring out Titanial. So I'm well aware that this is not a game, and even if I Mark of the Rose to steal the Armageddonite, he can stop it from being game by negating the Titanial's attack. So I'm just going to push in for damage here. And I'm feeling like I have a lot of comeback potential. This is not the easiest board to crack. You know, he would have to have like Lightning Vortex really to efficiently out it. It seems like that's not quite what he has. So all I have to do now is 400 points of damage, and I'm going to win. He did choose to hold off on the Necrogardna. So what is he going to do? He will set that Raikou again a second time, and then set 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 back row. So I'm feeling a little worried. And then I draw Decree. So I say, okay, let me just set the Decree and then pass. Seems good, right? He's going to go ahead and Dust Tornado that. I am going to go ahead and use Titanial to negate it. I didn't use Gigaplant or summon anything because I wanted to play around a possible Torrential as well as a possible Royal Oppression. Of course, he didn't have either of those, but what can you do? He's going to fire off the Compulse. We'll let him get away with that, and then he does have the MST for our Decree. So much for that plan, and then here comes that Royal Oppression. So bad news for us. He is then going to Raikou, clearing our Power Tool Dragon. So now all we've got left is the Mistworm, and then he is just going to Tribute set the Sirocco. You know, not wanting to give us fuel for Mark of the Rose makes a lot of sense to me. Now we will be drawing for turn, and we do pick up a Mist Worm. We are going to upstart here. Maybe we could find our way into Heavy Storm, or even a Twister or an MST to maybe deal with Oppression. Instead, we just draw another Gigaplant. So I'm saying, all right, it's time to play into stuff a little bit. Maybe he has some battle traps, but we have so much gas in our hand. I'm comfortable playing into, you know, a 1-for-1 mirror force or a D prison. You know, that would turn on one of the 2 DDRs. So seems totally fine to me. He is going to Necroguard now. So totally fine. Again, he's just going to preserve his field. He's going to take a Vayu off the top, which is nice. Now he can flip some in the Sirocco, and that will let him get over our Mistworm by swinging with that 2800 Vayu. So we'll take 300 points of damage, and then he will be passing the turn. And would you look at that, folks, we do draw a Heavy Storm for turn. So we are going to fire the Heavy Storm, but I would like to point out that as disgusting and sacky as a Heavy Storm like that is, Mark of the Rose take Sirocco is game, even through double bottomless and oppression. So GG to our opponent. That was we opened really strong. So no shade there. Go ahead and subscribe to Legacy Retro Formats if you haven't already. I highly recommend it. Look at that. Next card, Fossil Dyna. Feels bad, dog. All right. So that was a fun little match, but it was a quick one. That was a really quick one. That was just 10 minutes long. So why don't we play one more? If you're wondering what list I'm playing, I am just playing GigaVise 34, which is the list that I took to Providence. So I generally, if you see that I'm not showing off the list, I'm either keeping it a secret or I'm just using a list that I've already played before. I'm not doing anything new. So that's going on. That's what's going on there. All right, so what do we have here with this hand? Hidden Armory, Upstart, Supervised, Titanial, Gigaplant into set 1 pass. Here I'm liking Upstart. Okay, Nettles. So now we have the choice. We could Hidden Armory and try and get Mark of the Rose, or we could normal summon the Nettles and swing. I think we just pick up the Mark. Seems best. And then we're going to pass. Maybe we set Nettles next turn. This is also a hand where drawing to hand size and discarding one could be pretty good, depending, of course, on what our opponents did. So while we're waiting for our opponent, I actually have something I wanted to ask you guys. This is a little bit of a court of public opinion thing. This is a story that happened to me a little bit ago, and I want you guys to let me know, like, was I in the right? Was I in the wrong? All right, zombies, totally cool. So a couple of my AT friends, we had all decided to go and visit one of our friends at her cabin, her family's lake house, up in northern Wisconsin. This was in February, because isn't that so true? Like, what do you guys think of a vacation destination for February? What do you always think of? That's right. You think of going to a frozen lake. Very good. So, okay. I think here we just send Giga to Grave Pass. Seems right. I think we can OTK next turn. Yeah, nice. So we basically, you know, we live all over all of the country. People come from all over the country to do the AT, right? So I live up in New England. Our friend Lumberjack lives even further north in New England. Our friend Banquet lives in Virginia. And our friend Tails lives in Vermont. So, wow, okay. Standby main. All right, hang on, you guys. I'm gonna figure out this line, and then I promise I'll tell you everything that you could have ever wanted to know. So we go. Mark of the Rose. Banish Gigaplant. Steal Pyramid Turtle. Steal Pyramid Turtle, thank you. And then we go DDR. Discard. Nettles for Gigaplant. And then we go supervise Gigaplant, summon back Nettles. And then we go boom for Bryanak. And then we can go Fert for Nettles. And then we can go Bryanak. Put Fert back in the hand. Then we can go Gigaplant, Synchro Summon for, I don't know, Black Brute Drago, right? That seems good. Yeah, why not? And then we get Gigaplant back. And then we can Fert for Titanial. And we can Bryanak, bounce your Goblin Zombie. And you haven't scooped, so you must have Gores. No, you're going to say, damn, nice, GG. I don't know what you're doing. Okay, Gores after 2300. Gores after 2400. Doesn't matter. We're just going to kill the Gores. Alright, sure. Seems fine. I'm not worried. You need like Lightning Vortex. I don't know. Brain Control. Plus a way to get a monster on the field. Caius. It's pretty good. I don't know. I mean, you have 7 cards. One of them is a Goblin Zombie. You have outs. You have outs. I'm feeling pretty good about this. I'm feeling pretty good about this. I guess we could have not used the Brio again and attacked Goblin Zombie, but I don't really want to give you the Plague Spreader Zombie search. Anyways, our opponent's taking forever. So the way it worked is Lumberjack comes down, meets me. We go to Boston. We pick up Banquet, who has come in via train. And, oh geez, look at all of this. Look at that. That's pretty cool. Okay. Standby. Main. And then we go to Vermont to pick up Tails, who has rented a minivan for us all to drive all the way to Wisconsin. And Tails had to work a shift at her bar right up until we left. So we were like, oh, like, let's go. And we'll just see Tails at work, you know, we'll go in, have a drink, whatever. And so we go there, and, you know, of course, Tails is happy to see us, but, and I'll admit here, we totally dropped this social cue, but this isn't really the issue that I'm talking about. We'll get to that in a little bit. Equip Supervise on Gigaplant. Use Gigaplant's effect. Summon Nettles. And then okay, all right, sure. This is probably a throw. I don't know. I don't really care. I want to tell my story. So, Tails is kind of like is saying, "Oh, you guys should go and grab me food from somewhere." And we're like, "Okay, sure. What's open?" Now, what was really going on is Tails was trying to get rid of us because, you know, like one, you're working, you don't always want to feel like you have to entertain your friends at work. What a throw. All right, we can go to the next game. That's fine. I don't care. So again, like no shade, no shade, you know, totally cool. Um, good plan to get rid of us. Unfortunately, we're really dumb and we didn't pick up on that. So we thought Tails was like genuinely like, okay, yeah, we'll get you food. Where do you want food from? And it was kind of an issue of like, well, what's open here in small town Vermont, you know, what's around. And I think something was saying, oh, well, what about just like some grocery store sushi? And then other people were saying, well, you know, grocery store sushi that's kind of low quality. You know, if you guys are here in New England, we have Hannaford, you know, saying, oh, I don't know if I want to eat Hannaford sushi. And now in my town, and I don't know if this is every Hannaford, but at least in my town, there's a guy, and I've talked to him. Like I knew him. He's from Japan, and he works at the sushi counter. And so I was trying to defend Hannaford, and I said, "Hey, now, at the Hannaford by me, you know, there's a real life Japanese person making the sushi. Now, I'll admit, it's a little obnoxious. It's a little obnoxious, you know. But really, all I was trying to do was express the possible authenticity of the sushi at Hannaford. You know, sushi is Japanese cuisine, so you know someone from Japan making it, you might expect would do a better job making it than you know, some random American. That's all I was trying to say. However, this comment, do you ever have those moments where it's like in the movie where like there's a record scratch and all of a sudden everything stops and everyone looks at you like the meme at the party. uh, let's see. um, it is like this, and this lady at the end of the bar says, what the f is that supposed to mean, as opposed to what, a fake Japanese person? And I was like, what do you tell, like it's not a big deal, you know. He's from Japan. He's a Japanese guy. He's making, you know, he's making sushi. And let me tell you, it was then all of a sudden very clear that we were no longer welcome in that bar. And so we go back and we wait at Tails' house, and then Tails comes out and uh, it's kind of like, you guys, like I had to apologize for you. Like they were like lecturing me on like, oh, I shouldn't even hang out with you guys. And so, what do you guys think? Am I horribly bigoted? And if I really am in the wrong, like let me know. Let me know what you think. Or was that a little bit of overreaction from the folks at the bar? I'm very interested to hear your guys' take. Okay, so we go Lone Fire here for Lone Fire. For, is there a Colossal Fighter Armory Arm line? And then this Lone Fire could go for Copy Plant, and we get Bryanak, and then what do you have? Nothing. Okay. So then, yeah, this Lone Fire makes Copy Plant, and then we go Bert, bring back this Lone Fire, and then we go. That was to test for DD Crow, incidentally doing it right there. Then we go for Bryanak, and Bryanak says discard MST to put Furt back in our hand. And then we go activate Furt. He's typing. Copy Plant. And then we go activate Brio for Furt. And then we go Furt for Lone Fire. We don't even need to use that one's effect. And then we go Lone Fire, Nettles, boop, 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 boop. And then we go Armory Arm. And we go Colossal Fighter. And Armory Arm equips that. And we go right into the next game. That was a pretty nice one. What do you guys think? I think that was a pretty nice one. I think that was a really cool line. I'm glad I took a second to consider my options there. That was cool. That actually, that was a line that didn't even use Gigaplant. You know, any old plant deck that features Lone Fire and SSN and your tuners could have made that happen. That's just how flexible, how amazing GigaVise is. Oh, beautiful. That's really gorgeous, guys. That's just fantastic. All right. Gold Sark for Lone Fire, and then we'll win in 2 turns. Vanity's Fiend, I don't care. If anything, that's good for us. Because we can do... My favorite play is Mark of the Rose Book, the Vanity's Fiend. I guess we need a plant in the graveyard, so maybe we won't get to do that. But the possibility is there. Oh, perfect. That's an SSN. So let me just think for a second. If I set the copy plant, then I can Mark of the Rose, take the Vanity's Fiend, and then we can do not quite lethal. Because I don't play the second Mark. Okay. So we'll have to go now. We'll have to go now. That's fine. Very sad. Totally fine. So yeah, if we were playing the second copy plant, we would have game through Gores here. But this is a list that does not play the second copy plant. I am not playing that card. So we'll just see what we can do, you know? See what we can do. Feeling very good about this. There's no way you have DD Crow. No way. There's no world in which DD Crow is. And we'll just, like, honestly, missing isn't even that terrible. Missing really isn't that bad. And we didn't miss anyways, so. Is Titanial here? Right? Seems good. Just Titanial here. And then battle phase. I probably should have attacked with Gigaplant there. I don't know. 2400. Is that okay? There's no world in which we attack with Titanial. There's no world. There's no reason to. There's just, you guys gotta understand, there's no reason to attack with Titanial there. So we wouldn't do something like that. What did you search off of the Gobzom? Plague Spreader Zombie. Okay, so you have Plague Spreader Zombie. You definitely got options. But honestly, like Mark of the Rose with Lone Fire, with your standard Giga end board, that's feeling pretty good. That's feeling pretty good. I got another funny story from that Wisconsin trip. So that trip was I knew that you know my daughter was coming, but we had just gotten the ultrasound like the morning that I left for the trip, and I hadn't told anyone, you know, that I was going to be a dad. And So I tell Lumberjack and Banquet while we're driving to Vermont, and they were like, "Okay, we have to make this funny. Like, we can't just, you know, just tell tales. Like, we have to time it right when we're like, because we were about to do like a 12-hour drive overnight, uh, to Wisconsin. So they're like, we have to time this. We have to get Tails to cry because on the AT, Tails would cry for any reason, sad, happy, whatever. So we were like, we have to get Tails to cry from this. So we were just like waiting, and we were almost there. We were in like southern Wisconsin. We just gotten out of Chicago. We stopped to use the bathroom, and I'm still in the bathroom, and my friends all get back in the car, and they like drive to the other side of the gas station. So I come out of the gas station and no one's there. And then they were gonna call me and be like, "Oh no, we drove away." Da 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 da. But before they could call me, I saw their car. So, they got me for a second, but I figured that they were messing with me, and of course. So we were all kind of like laughing about that. They were explaining it, and I was like, "Man, if you guys had left me there, that would have been crazy. Like I hadn't even gotten to tell Tails that I'm gonna be a dad." And Tails was like, "Oh, ha ha ha, what are you talking about?" And I was like, "No, Tails, like I'm having a kid. Um, I'm gonna be a father." And Tails is like, "Okay, no, you're not. Like, what are you talking about?" And I had the ultrasound printout with me, so I pull it out and I show it to her, and she's like, "Where did you get an ultrasound from? Like whose ultrasound is that? Why do you have an ultrasound?" And I was like, "Well, because it's mine. That's my daughter. Like I'm gonna be a dad." I guess we didn't know that she was a girl, but um and Tails is like, what are you talking about? No, no. And then finally, we managed to convince Tails that, oh yes, in fact, yes. And she did cry. So mission accomplished. We are staring down a thought ruler archfiend. Man, that's annoying. Like literally any back row we lose to. Is there a world where we go Mark of the Rose and then we go DDR? I think that is what we do. Mark of the Rose. Pay 1,000, negate. Yep. And we go DDR for Gigaplant, and we get bottomless. And good game. Nice. Yeah. No help coming. GG, well played. Very nice. Very, very nice. All right, you guys. That is all I have for today. A couple stories, a couple nice replays, and it's after midnight now, so I guess I missed the deadline. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode of Shameless Hypebeast GigaVise content. Subscribe if you haven't already. We're about to hit 1,700, big milestone. Everyone's always obsessing about getting exactly 1,700 subscribers on YouTube, and that could be us. So subscribe if you haven't already. Smash the friggin' like button, leave a comment. You guys know the drill, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, or technically later today, with some more Shameless Hypebeast GigaVise content.